Yeah, dear student, welcome back to the business study class, and we continue with our chapter 2, and today we are going to study the fuels principle of management. So as you all know, the fuel propounded several rules, regulation and function in order to improve the production process. Okay? So according to his knowledge, he believed that the number of the management principle that might help to improve an organizational operation is potentially limitless, according to his study, because he has done several studies to improve the production process. So according to his own knowledge and experiments, he revealed out that the principles of the management are limitless. But in order to perform an organization, potentially he propounded the 14 major principles under which a production process can be very well controlled. Fuel explained what amounts to the manager work and what principle should be followed in doing this work. Now, if he argued and proposed that if you follow certain principle, definitely your production would be very well improved. Based largely upon his own experience, he developed his concept of administration. The 14 principle of management propounded by him was discussed in his book, which is published in the year 1949, and it was known as Journal and Industrial Management 1949, and he is also known as father of journal management. He was also known as the father of journal management. It was the Fayol who first propounded the 4 principles of management, that is planning, organizing, directing and controlling. It was the first who propounded. According to the Fayol, all activities of an industrial undertaking should be divided into technical, commercial, financial, security, accounting and managerial. He also suggested the qualities of the manager should be physical, moral, education, knowledge and experience. So in this way he propounded several theories and rules and regulations so that an organization shall work professionally. So according to the sequence, if we see, his first principle is division of the work. Clear? Division of the work means a very big piece of the work is divided into the small tasks. So nowadays you will see that there are several departments. First is purchase, then production, finance, marketing. There are several departments of an organization. Besides this, he also propounded that production process should also be divided into the special tasks. For example, you will see that he propounded the concept of assembly line, which was very well adopted by Henry Ford in his car production process. Similarly, if you see that paint shop, previously what was happening? Bodies or chassis, bodies of the car, trucks and buses were going for a paint shop to a different factory. Now it is a very time consuming process because chassis are uploaded on a vehicle. That vehicle is going to travel 100 and 200 km. Painting has been done. After that the vehicles are coming back, and at the same time it is costly also. So what nowadays companies are doing, they have installed or set a paint shop in his own factory. So by doing so, a lot of the conveyance wastage of the time has been avoided, and they have developed the conveyor belt. The bodies of the chassis are going over there, going to the paint shop. Within 2 or 3 days painting has been completed and they are coming here. So in this way several principles are being propounded in order to make the production process easier. So it is always good to do the division of work. Second is authority and responsibility. So authority here is of 2 types. So Taylor is the propounder. Fayol is the propounder of this principle. Authority is the right to give orders and to obtain, and obedience, responsibility is the corollary of the authority. The authority is of 2 types. First is official. Official authority means the right to give commands and to take out the work from them. And personal authority, which is the authority of the individual man. Second authority is the personal authority. To give some relief to their workers or juniors. Authority is both formal as well as informal also. Manager requires authority commensurate with the responsibility. There should be balance between the authority and responsibility. An organization should build safeguard against abuse of managerial power. At the same time, a manager should be necessary authority to carry out the responsibility. Okay? See, when the authority is given, there shall not be any abuse of the authority. And at the same time, sufficient personal authority should be given so that when a time is there to take the decision, a manager can take it easily. Okay? So see, first is official authority means a person has been given to make a deal and to offer 10% discount. Okay? That is the authority. But sometimes if the deal is big and you are able to grab sufficient profit from that, it is advisable to give some personal authority to make it increase up to 12 to 13%. Okay? So there shall be a balance between the authority and responsibility. Once the authority is given to provide the discount, at the same time there is a responsibility also to get that much of profit from the authority. So there shall be a complete balance between the authority and responsibility. Okay. Third is discipline. Again, it is very necessary to have a discipline in your organization. Okay. Then there shall be a complete balance of relationship between the owner of the company as well as the labor of the company. Okay. If there is some losses occurring, the management can ask from the labor to do some extra work and to honor the commitment, and the company can come up with this situation. So both shall respect each other and both shall honor the commitment made by them to each other. Okay. Next is unity of command. Unity of command means the order shall come from one person only. Okay. Like a sales manager is going to finalize the deal, okay, in which his boss is saying to give 10% discount, okay, and at the same time finance department is saying to give 5% discount only. So there is no unity of command. This thing shall be avoided. Okay. If this thing happens, every employee will always remain in doubt and confusion, and organizational objective will not be possible to be achieved. So this thing has to be always kept in mind. Dual subordination should be avoided. This is to prevent confusion regarding decision to be taken. Okay. The principle of unity command states that each participant in a formal organization should receive order from and be responsible to only one superior. Okay. If there are two bosses, two types of the commands are given, and this will always lead to the ambiguity. So this thing shall be avoided. Okay. Next is unity of direction. Unity of direction means all the department of an organization shall work for the common goal of the organization or common objective. Okay. So what is the objective? Is I give you the three types of objective: organizational, social, and personal. So what is the organizational objective? The 3 points are there: survival, profit, and growth. So every department, whether it is purchase, production, finance, marketing, research and development, after sales service, whatever department is there, they all work for the welfare of an organization, because if the organization prosper, everybody will prosper. Next is subordination of individual interest to general interest. So interest of an organization should take priority over the interest of any one individual employee according to Fayol. Every worker has some individual interest for working in a company. The company has got its own objective. For example, the company would want to get maximum output from its employee. Okay? A company will always want to get the maximum output from their employee and to earn maximum profit. And at the same time, a person will also want to get the maximum benefit from it. But always remember, while getting this benefit, okay, the general interest of an organization should be followed. From every deal of an organization, every employee of an organization shall be get the benefit of that. It's not that only one person is getting the entire benefit. An employee may want to get maximum salary while working the least. In another situation, individual employee may demand some concession which is not admissible to any other employee line working for less time. So in all the situations, general interest has been followed. That is why rules have been framed which is common to all. Okay? Otherwise, there shall be a discrimination against each other. Next is remuneration of an employee. The overall pay and compensation should be fair to both employees and the organization. The employee should be paid fair wages. we should give them at least reasonable standard of living, because if you are employing a driver or a labor in a metro city, it is very difficult to survive because life is very costly over there. So at least you should allow minimum wage to 20-25,000 so that person can easily survive. Otherwise the person will start doing some type of malpractices. In other words, remuneration should be just and equitable. This will ensure the congenial atmosphere and good relation between the worker and management. Consequently, the working of the company would be smooth. Now, what is a fair remuneration? It's a question of fact. That is why the part of the remuneration is divided into 3 part remuneration. That is pay for person, then pay for post, okay, and next is pay for performance. Okay. Now pay for person means whenever you want a certain person in your organization, okay, then remuneration shall be for that person. In that case, amount is immaterial. Like Sundar Pichai is working in Google. He is the chief of IT, clear, and his salary is 1400 crore rupees a year, clear, near about 4 crore per day. So that is for the pay for performance. Sometimes the pay is designed for the post, because post is very dangerous thing. The higher post you are, more responsibility you are having. So sometimes the payment is given for the post only, okay? And sometimes the payment is given for performance. For all these 3 types of things, remuneration of an employee shall be designed. This is the work of designing of the compensation. Is the work of HRD, Human Resource Development. Okay? I hope this thing is clear to you.